Hello, Delta Chi. My name is Peter Lane. I'm the Director of Development for the Delta Chi Educational Foundation. And I'm going to try something different today. I've been trying to think about how do we explain the significance of the foundation and why this time of the year, December, is so important to us meeting our goal. Why is that such a big deal? And so what thought I would do is I would just tell you a story. And I've got two stories that I want to tell you today. One is about an individual that I met in his 70s, and the other is about a chapter and what they've been able to do through the Delta Chi Educational Foundation. So the first story is about a man that I met down near Troy, Alabama. He's in his 70s. He was served as the chapter A back in the late 1960s. And we were at a football function. It was homecoming. There was a lot of hoopla. We were at a big tent. There were over 200 Delta Chi's there. This man has been very involved in helping resurrect an alumni chapter house, which is a neat idea in and of itself. And I'll tell you about that another time. This man, I sat down with him. I went up and introduced myself. I said, "You're kind of a big deal today." And he kind of laughed. And I said, "Will you tell me why is Delta Chi so important to you? Why have you been involved all of these years? And why now? Why is this such a big deal now? What's kept you engaged?" And I really wasn't ready for what happened next. He got very choked up. He got very teary-eyed and kind of sat back in his chair a little bit. And he said, "No one's ever asked me that before. Delta Chi changed my life. And that's all I can tell you right now." And he was on the verge of tears and breaking down. And I didn't want to push him. There was a big ceremony about to begin. And so I said, that's fine. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad to hear that it had a positive impact on your life. And we kind of moved on. Well, a few days later, I got a note from that man. And he wrote me and he said, your question caught me off guard. I've never really thought about it and tried to articulate it. But let me tell you a little bit about why I was so emotional. In high school, I was dyslexic and I had been all my life. But when you're growing up, especially at that time, dyslexia meant that people didn't think very highly of you. They didn't give you opportunities to lead. So I never had an opportunity to lead, and I always was kind of told that I really didn't belong. I went to college and ended up joining Delta Chi through my roommate. He didn't even tell me he was a Delta Chi. I had to find out on my own through a couple other parties and whatnot. And anyway, I joined, and I had the opportunity to be the rush chairman in charge of recruitment. And he said that was the first time in my life that I had ever been given an opportunity for a leadership role. And so I put my heart and soul into this role. And I blanketed the campus, and I worked really hard recruiting each individual and matching them up with somebody else in the chapter. And we recruited 32 men that fall, which was huge for us, and it doubled the size of the chapter. He said, when you're spending that much time one-on-one with people and you build those relationships, you also gain some influence. And so I was elected to the B as the vice president. And then from there, I was elected A. He said, from then on, I never questioned myself again whether or not I was fit and capable to lead. Delta Chi gave me that opportunity. And he said from there, I got goosebumps just talking about it. From there, he went on to have a very successful career in sales, built a couple of different organizations and sold those, and has done very well and has been very blessed. But the friends that he has in Delta Chi and the Delta Chi experience, really, he said, it changed my life. And the reason I told you that is because Delta Chi, just by being a member of our organization, you have an opportunity to have leadership, right? You might be an officer or a committee chairman, or maybe you're just one of the guys that just gets stuff done, right? You're part of the GSD committee. You're the get stuff done guy. And having that opportunity to be around our peers and to work in a parliamentary procedure and be at a chapter meeting every week and figure out budgets and figure out how to influence other guys in the chapter to do things that you may want to do and lead them. Not everybody has that. So that's the first thing. The second story that I want to talk about is a chapter. And this chapter is in the Southeast. And they created a chapter scholarship account, which is one of the products and services that the Delta Chi Educational Foundation offers. This is a way for members to support their chapter with tax deductible gifts. Now, that's restricted to be used for leadership development and educational purposes, right? So, and so that's, it's not for a party, it's not for social reasons. It's really for that educational and leadership development. Well, this chapter went about raising some money. They had a donor that said, I'll do a matching campaign for a few years. And so it got a lot of people involved and excited. They raised about $15,000 over 2 years. And this past year was the first year, 2019, spring of 2019 was the first time they were able to make a grant out of that fund. And what they decided to do is they decided to send as many people as they could to the Regional Leadership Conference. Now in the Southeast, this was held in Augusta, Georgia this past year. And this chapter sent 12 men to the Regional Leadership Conference. It was the most out of any chapter present. And it was also the most that chapter had ever sent to a regional conference. And why is that important? When you go to a regional leadership conference, you not only gain the opportunity to network with other guys around the region and build those relationships and those friendships, but you also are invested with chapter operations, how best practices, how to do all of the different positions, whether it's vice president committees or treasury or recruitment or associate member or pledging, member education. There's a lot of different things that are offered. There's also a lot of professional development stuff that's offered. How to dress for success, how to conduct yourself at a networking event, how to set up your own finances for personal success. So there's a lot that's put into those programs, and 12 of those men were able to go. Now think about that for a minute. That chapter had never sent that many. I think that chapter had only sent 8 at the most in the past. And it was the most out of that region. Now, what's going to happen to those young men? Well, all right, they go back to the chapter, and now they are a force to be reckoned with for best practices within the chapter. It's not just 1 or 2 guys that, yeah, that's neat that y'all went to that. We're going to keep doing things the way we've always done them, right? Good, bad, or otherwise. Now that group comes back and they say, hey, do you remember when we did this or we learned that? Let's try and implement this, right? Now that really can change the dynamic of that chapter and really sustain that group so that they don't get into trouble. And trouble is something that all of our chapters deal with. Some of us are better equipped to manage trouble than others. And instilling those best practices and certainly having alumni engagement helps navigate those treacherous waters when they arise. So why did I tell you those 2 stories, right? One is about a chapter and one is about a man. Leadership development and education outside of the classroom is something that the Delta Chi Educational Foundation believes very much in aiding our chapters and our members. And in order to be able to provide those tax-deductible giving channels, right, the chapter scholarship account, or investing in the Ray Galbraith Leadership Fund and being able to provide a young man with a scholarship to go to an international leadership program, even just the scholarships that we offer at the Delta Chi Educational Foundation. All of that takes an operational base, right? You've got to be able to provide for the accounting, the tax filing in every state, the legal fees in every state. Somebody's got to go out and raise the money for the general fund and those general operations. That's what I do. That's what my friend Jason Sisk does on the annual giving side. Some guys are giving $25 a month. Some guys are giving $1,000 a year. And then there are some of us who have done very well in life and have the ability and the affinity to give back to the organization in a big way. But you don't have to be one of those major donors to make an impact. And this time of year is more critical than ever. 30% of our annual funding comes in the month of December. And of that, 10% of it comes in the last 10 days of the month. So a significant amount of money comes in. And if that's not when you usually give, or if you've already given, I'm here asking you to make another gift or to make your first gift. If Delta Chi has meant something to you, the friendships that you have that were developed through shared common experiences, the leadership opportunities that you were given that really helped you find your own way and grow as an individual and take that growth and confidence into your professional career. If any of those things have impacted you in a positive way, we're asking for you to make a meaningful gift to the Delta Chi Educational Foundation to support our operating fund, the general fund. It's easy to do. Go online at deltachi.org/give and make your gift to the general fund. You can call me. My number is 319-499-0352. I would love to talk with you. Tell me your Delta Chi story. Why is Delta Chi so important to you? And then we can take the gift over the phone. This is a relationship business. This is not a transactional business. So I am interested in building a relationship with you. And the Delta Chi Educational Foundation is interested in building a relationship with you. Maybe your chapter's been closed in the past year. Unfortunately, that's happened. But it doesn't mean that your Delta Chi experience is over. And in many ways, it might be a silver lining and give you an opportunity to expand your Delta Chi friendships and connections beyond just your chapter. I know that may be hard to hear if your chapter's closed this year. Anyway, this was just a test. It was a trial run. I don't know if this format is going to work every time, and this is pretty long-winded. But if you've listened to us this far, I would encourage you to go online right now and make your gift. This is the last opportunity you're going to have this decade to make a positive impact, and we could really use your support. Thank you for listening. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Signing off, Peter Lane with the Delta Chi Educational Foundation. Bye-bye.